Um, First thing about brainstorming. One of the reasons I came to academia from industry 10 or 11 years ago was that I had this very clear sense that there were a lot of things I didn't know, and I hoped that working in a university setting I would learn a whole bunch of stuff I didn't know. And one of the most interesting things I've learned, thanks to a class I took with an expert on creativity at the Kellogg School at Northwestern, was that brainstorming is actually a really bad thing. Brainstorming, at least in the sense of everybody shouts out their ideas. Two things happen when people shout out their ideas. One is the people who are not comfortable shouting ideas don't offer them. And two, what happens is the loudest people guide the conversation, and people tend to follow the lead of the loudest people. So my colleague, who is an expert on creativity, says, in fact, there's the most important thing about creativity is you want the most creative ideas. You need to start by having the most ideas. So you collect as large a number of ideas as possible, and you will get more creative ideas. So rather than brainstorming, she speaks about brainwriting. And brainwriting is very similar to brainstorming, but with one key difference, which is that before we start shouting out, we spend 5 minutes writing down our ideas quietly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to ask you to take 5 minutes. You can use the back of the form or another piece of paper. We don't care what you use. Basically, what we want you to do is to list as many technology ideas that would benefit your site as you can think of. Numbers is more important than how beautifully formed they are or how complete they are. Jot down as many ideas as you can in 5 minutes. And what we will then do is we will have an organized reporting out of these ideas, and we will see what things sort of bubble up to the top. By the way, let me introduce Larry Birnbaum, who's just arrived, my colleague in computer science at Northwestern, who is also on the board of the Knight News Innovation Lab, and he'll be here as well. So yeah, 5 minutes, as many ideas as possible. If you need a prompt, you can certainly think about those 8 areas that are listed on the form, because literally anything from idea generation to engaging with audience and everything in between is potentially affected by the way we use technology. So jot down as many ideas as you can in 5 minutes, and then we'll report out. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have sort of organized reporting out process. What I'm going to do is we're going to go around one at a time. I want you to describe your idea. Mike and or I will try to capture that in a form that we can get on the form. We will then, one idea at a time from each person. As if someone suggests an idea you have, you don't need to offer it when it comes around to you. Literally, we're going to try to maximize as many unique ideas as we can and capture them on the board. And we'll go around. If we have time, we may have sort of an organization and kind of discussion and ranking exercise. You should expect that we will ask questions of clarification. We'll ask you if that's the same idea as somebody already offered, or if that, how it advances that. But the idea is to organize all this, get a maximum number of ideas, and then try to have some way to organize those ideas into categories. That's where we're going to go. So I'm going to start in the back. We'll come up to the front on this side, and then we'll go back on this side. Absolutely, if you have a question about the idea, you should feel free to ask it. Okay, so I don't want to quash discussion. I would like to not have a long conversation after each idea that's been suggested. I want to make sure that we capture the essence of that idea accurately, and so if you have a question for clarification, absolutely offer it. And I will try to repeat what's said from the mic, since it's the only mic that we have. So we'll start in the back. I see Howard sitting there. I know he's got lots of ideas. So Howard, what's idea number 1? Okay, so we'll say, so robust classifieds tool, including upsells, video, and user submissions. Okay, so a better commenting and civility tool. I think we can have a long discussion over the issues of real names and whether those things are the solution. But I think ultimately, I think what you're expressing as a publisher is a desire to have better tools to manage comments and ensure civility. Does that sound like a summary? Okay, good. Okay. And the essence I'm hearing is that the key to that collaboration tool is that you've got word people and you have visual people, and they often yeah. Okay, good. Aggregating real-time video from events, and including video from citizen contributors, yeah, upload, aggregate it, and present it. Okay, good idea. Tools for extracting and presenting data from, presumably, yeah, especially government data sets. So yeah, I think the ability to create more templates is the thing you're looking for, because it sounds like you have an idea of how you'd like to present, say, certain pieces of content that should go together, and you can't shoehorn them easily into whatever your CMS template is. Site-wide search for multiple data types, multiple content types, right, which may not be working smoothly right now. The second one, which I found kind of intriguing, is the ability to search audio and video. A coupon solution for local businesses, and the key features you mentioned are self-service. So ideally, so you want the person with the mobile phone to have the coupon on their phone as well. So with the delivery to mobile and including redemption tracking. All right. Better local directory, leveraging what? Leveraging Yelp, as opposed to the database services that most directories are built on. Okay. So a map-based tool for recruiting, managing, and querying geographically segmented correspondence. So the idea is a tool for individual users to submit content, indicate what geographic area it applies to, and alert the editors that it's there to be looked at, reviewed. So you also want this to be something that is displayed geographically on your site. Okay. Okay. So you have sales reps selling ads on your site. Is that what you're after? Where is which site are you running? Okay. Interesting. So, good. Interesting idea. So you're looking for a way for multiple sites to collaborate and share content, and have it be organized in a way that may be sensible on all of those sites, geographically or thematically or whatever. Okay. So consensus building tools that allow collaboration and problem solving. It's Foursquare for your users. It's find other users in physical proximity. So map-based presentation of stories or content. Business membership system. Interesting. I certainly could imagine that connecting to Howard's idea. It also might be a separate. It even extends in your mind to the idea that businesses, when they log into the system, would be if they commented they would be mentioned as a site supporter or a business member. Interesting. Okay. Well, that actually is interesting too. That the idea of incorporating self-publishing for the business that's a member. Interesting idea. Yeah, really to report news is really the scenario I think you're talking about. From report news, yeah, and then enable others to verify, ask questions about, dispute, I suppose. But it's a news reporting tool, I think, is this sort of the example you're thinking of is, I see this traffic accident, or I see this building under construction, or I see something, I want to report that. So you've given up on OpenX. Are there particular functions of OpenX things that you would like your ad solution to do that OpenX doesn't do? So I mean, it's sort of a classic open source model, really, right? So they've got an open source piece that is pretty good considering it's free, but it's not meeting all your needs, and because it's open source, it's easily hacked, and because it's somebody has to figure out how to make money on it to get it to jump through exactly the hoop you want to go through, you've got to pay somebody to do it. Okay. I think the thing that I hear in what you're saying that is new is you don't necessarily want to just put 3 stories and a photo and a tweet together. You might want to get this paragraph from a story and this quote from another story, and then to to present it, to have sort of layout control over those pieces. So, breaking news tool that enables community members to file content, share content. Okay, so ad management, but you're not so much talking about the management of the inventory and the display of that inventory on your site. It's the back end. It would be the ability to serve ads to citizen-contributed content and share revenue with them. You'd like to have the better tools for attaching multimedia to maps. I will say there's a lot possible with Google Maps but I think you are right that the interface to do that is cumbersome, and both for the user and the content creator. So yes, so you really want a local local multi-merchant e-commerce platform is what you really want. But you want them to be able to see the products and search the products in local. So yeah, I mean, one of the things that last piece in particular I don't call it a searchable database of quotations in our market, right? I mean, when people comment on your site, right, the best practices in commenting is that you can then click on that name and you can see everything else they've commented on. But if it is something that is in a quote in a story, you can't. So, but exactly, it's from a technology standpoint, it's structuring the data such that quotes are extracted. I think it's interesting. It's a CRM system for nonprofit news sites. There is one system I know the site that we're working with right now actually uses. It's something called Kintera, and I think it's a fairly expensive system that was built not for websites, but for managing donor lists and email campaigns and appeals to them. But it doesn't necessarily integrate smoothly with the content, the membership on the subscription on the website, those other kinds of things. So, I mean, ultimately, you'd like to know enough about your users and what they do on your site that you could find the appropriate means to get them to move up the ladder of participation from visiting to membership to donation to leaving something in their will for you. Some kind of pay meter. The New York Times tool, they call it a metered model now. It's kind of paywall/meter model. Yeah. So you say sharing of content, embedding video. So a tool that automatically identifies connections between pieces of content on your site. So right now, there's a story from 6 months ago about this issue. There's a photo that was taken at the weekend event. There's it's that same multi-site search problem you had earlier. But right now, the process of even surfacing the things to decide what you build the links between is very manual. So basically, news SEO tools. They are going to pull us off the stage, and so I want to respect the agenda. I think this is it's a really interesting and diverse list, and it's definitely, I've got a whole bunch of wheels flowing. Mike, can we provide the Night Lab address for further submission of ideas that you've got? Because we have a website. It's nightlab.northwestern.edu. We will have a Twitter account, although it is not yet active. And we do have an email box that we can provide you an email right now to send us ideas. Obviously, Mike and I are happy to interact with you individually as well. But if you want to just throw ideas into the idea exchange, it's nightlab@northwestern.edu, and we will happily look at those ideas as they come through. Yeah. Mike has access to that. He'll get them pretty much instantaneously. So. Thank you very much for this session. We're going to do some thinking and organizing, and I think this is going to be very helpful to get us started. Yes, we absolutely want your forms back, and we will. We'll try to share something about what we got out of those forms as well with all of you who've given us your ideas. So thank you very much.